Okay, so the next sections that I'm working on are these sections here in the water, these orange and yellow reflections, and I'm going to be a little bit chicken and just start over here where it's very faint. So I'm going to set that up here where I can watch, where I can see it. And I have used my little chalk marking pencil to kind of mark the areas very faintly where those sections are going to go in the water, over here and over here. So I'm going to be mixing up with a little bit of white paint. I'm going to be mixing up some golden yellow. And I'm not going to mix very much at first. I've already got a little bit of white paint in there with some fabric medium, so I'm just gonna do a little tiny bit of yellow in there and mix that up and see what it looks like. And again, the reason I'm starting with a little bit of white is because I do want to cover some of that blue. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And you can see I'm not adding very much. But I might play around with a little bit of my reflective powders. So I've got this Pearl X pink gold. And I'm going to just take my palette knife and maybe just add a little bit of that in there. And then again, I'm going to stir it up, see what I get. You have to mix it quite well. So it makes it a little bit pinker, which is what I wanted. And I'm going to add another dollop or two of this. All right, so now let's just test that out on a little bit of blue on an edge. Got an edge down here, so let's see what that looks like. That's pretty good. Let's see what happens when I actually put some in here now. I might add just a tiny bit more of that pink. And a little bit more of this. Okay, let's give that a whirl. So I'm going to go, whoops, I'm going to go up in this little area right in here, right here. I'm just going to put in a little bit of that golden yellow color in there. And I'm not really sure what that's going to look like when it's dry. So I'm just going to keep going for now. I might have to go back over it. I'm just going to make it a little bit wider. And, you know, if I don't really like what I've got, then I can always go back over it again with something else. All right, now in this area, it comes out a little bit more here, this way. And I think I'm going to use some smaller brush strokes just to give the idea of more like the water is a little bit rippling here. Now as I come into this section here, it gets a little more yellow. So I'm going to maybe add some more yellow to my color. Get out of here. I have a little buddy here who's not helping things. She's prancing around behind the camera, making a pest of herself. Okay, I'm going to come down a little further with this color, which is good. And I'm just going back and forth looking at my photo. I'm looking at this part right here. And now I want to add a little bit more, a brighter yellow. So I'm going to pull in some of my lemon yellow color. I'm just going to mix that in. I'm probably going to have to add some more white to that as well. Some more white. I'm getting low on white. I'm going to have to buy some more. Okay, so I've got the white here and the yellow here, and I'm going to just kind of start working that in. Definitely more of a lemony yellow, which is what I want. But you can see it's a little bit on the gloppy side, so I'm definitely going to have to add a little more medium to it. Okay, let's test that out on the edge here. What does that look like? It's definitely a brighter yellow, which is what I want, so that's good. So I'm going to pull that in down here and a little bit over here too. Just some little dabs. So I have to make sure when this dries that it doesn't turn green on me. So I might have to go back over it again. I'm coming way down here. Just a little bit now. It's not as bright as I come down. And obviously I'm going to be doing some free motion quilting in this area too that will blend with some wavy lines. But this kind of gives me an idea of what I'm looking for. I'm just going to go back over here and brighten up some of this too. It's looking a little dull. Okay, so that's that little area more or less done. And when I get over to this area, obviously I'm going to have to use a lot more white and a lot more orange too. But that gives you an idea how I'm painting the water. I did go in previously and put in some dark spots to do these little areas underneath. And so I've got some of those already laid down. Okay, let me move this over here now. And again, I'm going to start on this outer edge here because I see some yellow there. And I've already got that color mixed up, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of that in there. Oops, got a big blob there. I'll just mix it in. Back here it gets a little more orange, so I'm not worrying about that right now. It's kind of nice in this area. The fabric's already green underneath, greenish yellow, so I don't have to work too hard at this area. And you don't want all your blobs to be the same size because some of them are more blurry like this and some of them are more tiny like that. So it looks more natural if you kind of make it a little different throughout. Okay, and then over here I've got some yellow. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Yes, I think you can. some of these yellow blobs down here. I know this is going to dry a lot lighter or less in your face, so I'm not too concerned about it right now. I'm just putting it down and letting it dry. Okay, and I think that's all I'm going to do for right now. And I'll come back in later with the other part.